Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 178. I'm your host, Nathan, and I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves, to my left.
Thank you.
And today we are going to be reviewing Oz Perkins' latest film, The Monkey.
The monkey. Think of the
What
SpongeBob episode with the Flying Dutchman, the
One
way
of
he says it.
Yeah.
The monkey's fish, the monkey.
One of the best SpongeBob episodes of all time.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, The Monkey. We got to
Yes.
quit monkeying around now.
Exactly. You're right.
Because we have a movie to review here.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true.
And it's Oz Perkins' latest film coming off of his mixed film Longlegs, but we had a lot of positives in it. We had a big problem with the ending.
Yes.
But overall liked the film.
Yep.
And we're excited about his new entry. I remember us saying,
Mm-hmm.
whatever Oz does next, we're gonna see it. And here we are.
Here we are.
And The Monkey came relatively quickly after Longlegs.
Yeah, I think I heard right after Longlegs came out that it was announced. The monkey had a bunch of actors already in it, and it was based off of the Stephen King short story with the same name.
That's right.
Very interested because of how it was titled a horror comedy.
I didn't know that part.
So you were really surprised when you saw it.
I intentionally the movies that we picked to review, I try to stay away from as much as I can. Oftentimes I don't even see the trailer.
Mhm. Same.
Because I want to form my own opinion and then come on here and
Right.
talk about it. So I didn't know shit about The Monkey, man, other than it was Oz Perkins' latest film and
Yeah.
and the little teaser commercial things that I saw were like leaning more on the horror.
Yeah, in all fairness, yeah, they were more leaning. A little bit jokes here and there.
Yeah, there was. But I was like, okay, let's so like Longlegs had some funny moments too.
But it wasn't this much.
No, obviously not. I'm not comparing the films, but I'm saying
Sorry.
I was kind of expecting something like Longlegs.
Like that,
Maybe there's some
okay.
funny jokes in it, but it's a horror film.
Yes.
This is more of a comedy than a horror.
This is more of a comedy. This is like Oz Perkins trying to do Pineapple Express that also features some cool horror deaths.
Yeah,
That's
a pretty good way to describe it, actually.
like Final Destination, but like more self-aware and comedic.
Another thing that they were doing with the marketing was like from the producers of Saw, The Conjuring.
Yep.
Because they had James
James
Wan
Wan.
attached to the project.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like listing 5 movies that are like straight horror movies that
Yeah.
play it straight and
Mhm.
are trying to be scary. So you kind of have an expectation.
Yeah, I think the marketing wanted to lean to horror than comedy because the reality is in 2025, you're more likely to get a successful horror film than a successful comedy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's sad.
So they're going to lean to that.
That's sad. And look, the genre of like a horror comedy there's not a lot of these films coming out.
Right.
So like I'm kind of glad that he's trying some shit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to necessarily say that this film worked for me as well as I'd hoped it to, but I still enjoyed it.
This is where we differ, Nathan, because I saw this in theaters last night. Saw it in a crowd of teenagers all yelling, "Oh my God, the monkey, the monkey." They saw the Talk to Me sequel trailer. They were yelling that, so I couldn't even hear that fucking trailer, which it looked good. I don't know if you
I
got
didn't
that.
get to catch that one.
Would recommend checking it out because that was really nice. Yeah.
The trailer just came out for that?
Well, I saw it in theater, so apparently, pretty new, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, reaction coming soon, guys.
Reaction coming soon, guys. But yeah, I saw this and I was thinking, you know what? I know it's a comedy horror. I can't wait for the comedy. I
Right.
can't wait for the horror. And Nathan, I'm gonna be really honest. I did not find this movie funny.
Like at all?
Like I chuckled maybe 4 times. That's the ratio I'm giving you. I'll explain which parts I chuckled at.
Sure.
For the most part, I thought the deaths were awesome. I thought the deaths were very creative. I thought this movie felt like a stretched out short story. The pacing was really off. I think most of the performances were kind of bad. And not bad in the way that it's like, oh, it's comedic, so it works. It's like, no, I think like even for comedic timing and pauses, it's like I don't think Oz Perkins is the best at it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way about the pacing, because this is based off of a Stephen King short story, and it feels like it.
Yeah.
This is a feature-length film, and it's stretched so much that you just are like, okay, when is this going to end? Because it's like there isn't much character to this
No,
movie,
it's just like set up the next kill quickly.
which is fine. But like, if it was funny,
Yeah.
I would have liked it more. I don't know. Like I'm gonna be honest. I think I like this on par or slightly less than Longlegs. I'm kind of leaning more into that. Maybe Longlegs is better the more I think about
You
that.
got
Even
it.
with the
Yeah.
bad ending, like I'm sorry, but the monkey, like even the introduction, the first scene, I was like, okay, there's some mood to this. It's not
Oh,
bad.
I was, yeah, like especially me not knowing the tone.
Yeah, you were like,
That first scene, first of all, we get an Adam Scott cameo,
yep.
which I'm watching Severance right now.
Heard everyone talk about that show. Is it
Bro,
amazing?
it's so good. Like,
Fuck. All right.
it's the best show on TV right now. I'm absolutely hooked
Hell
on
yeah.
Severance. So that cameo came in at a good time. I was like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
this is sick, and that scene was shot so well too, and
Yeah, it was good.
genuinely built up horror well in that moment with the
Mhm.
monkey.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. Obviously, the intestine kill was like, goofy.
But you know what you're getting into when you have a kill like that. That's a
Yeah.
great introduction of the monkey, establishing who the monkey is, like what they do,
Yeah,
and the
and like
death.
the ride you're about to go on,
Exactly.
which I was okay with.
Hmm.
But then, like I was kind of okay with the first half.
Yeah.
I thought that when they were kids, there was some better storytelling than in the
Storytelling.
second half.
It was good establishing. It's just that, the performances that they got from the kid, from the mom, from like the babies, I was just like, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah, I liked the nerdier kid. He had a really good. Not that we want to judge kid performances here, like whatever. But
No, I'm judging direction.
Yeah,
Because
the
at the end of the
direction.
day, like a director needs to give a great performance out of anyone, including children. Which I get it. It's really hard to act,
The older like bully kid was really bad.
Yeah.
The mom was really bad too.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, like I think it's just because of not only their performance and direction, but also the lines. Like the dialogue, just something about it wasn't quirky enough. Like Oz Perkins wanted to be a little bit quirky and be like, yeah, they sound a little weird. The wording's a bit weird, but that's the funny part. It's like I did not get that.
Yeah,
You know
not
what it
quite.
felt like to me? There were some lines where I was just like, oh, they're trying to be funny. Ooh, like that's what I felt like. And I was like, I'm not laughing, man.
There was a lot of trying to be funny.
Yeah, and it just didn't work. You can try to be funny if you're doing something funny, but again, like I guess humor is subjective, right?
Yeah, true.
But comedy isn't. Like you have to put effort into this.
Sure.
That's how I felt. A lot of it felt lazy. Like the scene where the babysitter dies, the first
Yeah.
monkey, whatever, and it's the funeral, and you see that priest who looks like he's like what 20 years old and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh fuck,
That
like
was funny.
I chuckled at that. The motherfucker kept talking, and I was like, I just you had a good joke, and he was just like, yeah, and death, and yeah,
It was
and
too over the top for you.
his acting wasn't good enough for that type of delivery. You know who would have been better? Like a Tim Robinson.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like get a comedic actor, or even like Bob Odenkirk, who's done comedic and dramatic.
Bob Odenkirk would kill that.
Right? Like
Yeah.
try to get some people who have done a blend of both. Don't just get like random people who
You're right. Like in that scenario, if he said like "oh fuck" and then continued as a regular
Yes.
priest, it would have been funnier.
Exactly. Because it's just like, oh, he's trying to act professional, but like literally could not handle it. So it's like, fuck,
Yeah.
we're gathered here today.
Exactly. Yeah. If he did that, it would have hit a little bit harder.
But
But I laughed at that moment. I can't lie.
Yeah. Same with the mom too, when she's like, everyone dies and stuff. I think it would have been better if the mother was trying to hide that in a very emotional state, but is realizing like everything sucks and stuff. Like her life sucks, her marriage and
Right.
whatnot. But again, it's more character moments you have to focus on with this. And I don't think this film really cares about that. They care about, man, these twin brothers, they're fucking weird. Am I right, guys? Oh my God, one's the
Yeah,
nerd
These
and
guys
one's.
hate each other.
It's like, that's all you got? I mean, for a short story, that's fine because it's a short story. But when you have 100-minute film,
To me, it was a lot worse when they were older. Like,
they got worse. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, like, look, the sequence where the kid kind of realizes the monkey has this power,
yeah.
and then like hates his brother so much that he like tries to kill. Like the anticipation, the buildup of like that scene,
Right.
and then seeing what happened. Like obviously
Mhm.
it ended up being the mother who got killed. and
Yeah.
and like some of the repercussions of that, and him going with his uncle and aunt. Like I was in at that part.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, you're telling this like you're hitting the beats here.
it's not something special, but I wouldn't say
No,
it was inherently bad.
no,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like for the kind of movie it is, this like
Exactly.
horror gore fest kind of campy movie.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is a narrative. I'm
Yeah.
interested.
Yeah.
And then when they're older, then it just became like set up for the kill, boom, set up for the kill. We have to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
Right.
it seemed like the ideas, they were kind of almost running out of ideas. Like,
Yeah.
look, if you're going to rely this heavily on just creative kills, that's fine. There's plenty of movies that do it, and I
Yeah.
like them,
Yeah.
and they're classics.
But why are they classics and this isn't?
Right.
That's the real question,
But
like
like it's fine if that's what you're gonna rely on, but
Yeah.
don't get lazy with some like you have to have every kill must be memorable, and there is some memorable kills in this, but there's also ones where people just explode out of nowhere.
Yeah. It worked for me with the pool scene.
Yeah.
It gave me like what was it? The fucking Chevy Chase Vacation vibe movie.
Yeah,
where it's
sure.
like- but if you do it constantly, you're like, okay, they just exploded.
Yeah. And then the gag of like everyone acting like it's normal constantly.
The cheerleaders.
The cheerleader gag is the most shoehorned in like bullshit. Like, oh, we need to find a laugh here. What if we
Yeah.
got cheerleaders to show up at
It's ridiculous.
they try it like 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, they tried it at the very end too.
It
That was-
left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I think what would have been better in terms of trying to make this into a better story is have the twin brothers, have one of them, the nerd, take his kid, and it's like, oh, let's do a family reunion. So then it's all the family members, and you
Right.
get to know more of like, oh, why is he acting like this? Oh, you remind me of your second uncle. You remind me of your cousin and stuff, and they all come together. Now you can kill them. Now
Right.
you can kill them because the evil brother's like, fuck, I just want my brother to die. Oh, no, that's my third cousin. He died instead. Fuck. Or she
Right.
died. Like, I think you could have had more fun with that and set it in one location. Could have been all one house, big house. But
Yeah.
no, they went a more, in my opinion, lazier route. And I don't know if that's because that's what the short story is just like the brother trying to find the evil brother while he has his kid. If that's all it is, like, you got to add more shit than this, man, because I don't know. It just felt very simple. Like not a
Yeah.
whole lot goes on in the movie. You ever notice that? It was just like kind of like a road trip sort of for the dad and the kid. But
Yeah, it's
oh,
not plot heavy at all.
what is it? Elijah Wood makes a cameo in this, and I'm gonna be honest, that scene was like, I didn't find that funny, dude.
Yeah.
That kept on going, man. The arm wrestle shit. I'm just like, oh my god. Just
It
next
wasn't
scene.
a good bit.
Next
no.
scene, please, for the love of God. I'm not laughing at this.
Yeah, when this movie bombs, it bombs. There's no doubt about it.
You know what's a good scene though? The moments of horror, the shots of like the monkey and stuff. I loved how it was framed and everything. One of my favorites is that nightmare sequence where he's like sleeping and then it's like the monkeys just surrounding him and
Yeah.
stuff. Like I wanted more visuals like that. If you're gonna go fucking weird and funny, do shit like that.
Do shit like that, yeah.
Which I don't think it did as much as it wanted to. You know, it was just kind of like, and I don't know if it's because of the budget as well, but like, I don't know, be more creative than this. Because like, if you don't, then what's your gimmick? Just that it's a monkey? It's a toy monkey?
Yeah.
Which
like-
it's like Cocaine Bear. It's like you got to do more than just the title.
Yeah, it's something we've seen, like, the possessed doll. Like you got to do something a little bit more with it.
Yeah.
I think, and obviously, like making it rely so heavily on the comedy, it's doing something different. Like I rather watch this that's like trying to be something
Mhm.
than like a like Insidious or like
Well,
one
of
those.
course, yeah. But let's compare it to like a horror comedy that's similar that came out recently, Happy Death Day. You know,
Mhm.
I remember. Okay, this was a while ago because of when it came out, but I remember that having a good blend of comedy and horror,
Right.
and it sort of working. It worked better than this.
You didn't think the horror elements in this movie worked at all?
I think it worked better than the comedy.
Right.
I think it worked better than the comedy, but at the end of the day, it's like it still drags because
Like some of the like the monkey buildup, like when
that was good.
it was clever.
I
Right?
like that.
It was clever. Like he lifts his hand and he spins the thing, and it builds this anticipation. And I was reading that something a little interesting is that
Mhm.
the original short story is a monkey with symbols.
Yeah.
But Disney owns that.
Yeah, from Toy Story 3, they copyrighted it. Even though that toy came out before Disney ever had the chance to, like, it's one of those toys like Mr. Potato Head,
That's right.
where it's like, no, it's just a classic toy and they fucking copyrighted it.
But I actually think the drums are a little bit more effective because
Mhm.
he does the hand raise, he does the spin.
Yeah.
It doesn't really ever like go down at the same time. So they build this anticipation and they shoot the monkey really well.
Yeah.
And as a horror audience, we're trained to like expect the monkey to move or like a jump scare when you
Mm.
get those close-ups. He
Yeah.
never does, but you feel that like something gonna
Something.
happen, is something gonna move, right?
Yeah.
And I think that adds to the horror, but the horror is few and far between. The
Yeah.
real horror.
You know what I thought this was gonna do as well? Because they kept saying, like, "It's not a toy. It's not a toy."
Oh
I thought they were gonna do the Little Shop of Horrors ending.
Mm.
Where it's like, "Hey, we're gonna make more of these monkeys and stuff," and they do, and then it's like the climax is like a super big monkey like terrorizing the town, and everyone's getting killed and stuff. Oh my god, I would have fucking loved that ending. And like the dad and the son are like, "Oh fuck,"
Yeah.
and they look up, and it's like the evil monkey, and they all die.
They
That
were
would,
they were almost getting there, like
That's
when
what I
when the monkey
mean.
spams the drum and then planes are falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're just going. They're going for it.
I would have wanted more of that. I was like, "Oh, cool, apocalypse. Are they gonna do more with it?" No, the
No.
movie's done. Bye.
Yeah.
It just kind of ends abruptly
The
too.
brothers make up. One of them dies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
That's a bad scene. too.
That is a bad scene because I was like, are they just gonna do the most obvious thing with the bowling? Yeah, they did the bowling ball. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. What the fuck was up with that old man on the horse scene?
Bro, the ending of this film, like I still can't.
I need a tweet to the fucking Stephen King. Like, hey man, was this in your story or was this Oz Perkins acting weird?
One of the most bizarre last that, and then the cheerleaders right after. It's like one of the
Yeah.
most bizarre last scenes in a film ever.
Because the cheerleader part, I was like, okay, that makes sense because they set it up. It was like set up, payoff, whatever. But the old man on the horse that looks like death or a ghost, I'm like, was that? Is that
Yeah,
someone
like,
we know?
Who is this fucking Scooby Doo character?
Keep in mind, like when I was in the theater, a lot of teenagers were like fucking yelling at this point, and I didn't even bother telling them to be quiet because like I didn't care this much about this film, Nathan. I'm sorry. They were like ad-libbing, like, oh my god, imagine the Rizzler got killed by the monkey. I was like, yeah, man. Honestly, I kind of laughed more at that joke than most of the jokes in this fucking movie, dude. Like, I was like, god damn, man. Fucking skibbity monkey. Somebody said skibbity monkey in the back. Like, I was like,
Imagine there is like gotta kill this monkey.
like, fucking cares.
Oh man, that is kind of a good joke. Fuck.
Anyways, yeah,
Shout out
that
to those kids.
shout
man.
out to the kids, man. Like, they knew that this film was shit. I knew it too.
Shout out to those kids at Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn Cineplex.
Cineplex.
God damn, man. They had way too much fun. Another line I liked about this film, I think my favorite joke is the one where he tries to wake up his son. And it's a throwback to the line that his mom said in the car, which I thought was weird. It was just, oh, let's make like eggs and scramble and stuff.
Yeah,
And he does the same thing. It's like, fucking let's make
he
like
starts-
eggs and scramble. Hard cut to
yeah.
them in the car. I thought that was funny. I
Yeah,
thought that was
that
a
was-
really, really funny scene because it not only showcased the comedic part of someone just saying that out of random, but it was like a throwback to what his mom said. It shows how troubled his childhood was.
Yeah,
that
and
he
it
just
shows-
says that.
It shows like how impressionable kids are, right?
Yeah.
It's like a little nod to that. And look, does this movie I think try to get a little bit deeper with a message about death?
Mm.
I think it maybe tried. It didn't work well.
I think it failed.
it failed.
I think it failed to me. It did. I don't know.
Yeah, like, but it does try. Like,
It
I think
does.
that mom monologue after that funeral
Yeah.
is, it's there for a reason.
Right.
That scene is longer than it needs to be.
Yes.
Her monologue is longer than it needs to be because they're trying to say something.
Yeah, and you can tell by the end of the movie where he's trying to convince his brother that, oh, you shouldn't do this and whatnot. And
That's
tried
where they really failed.
they
'Cause I
try-
was okay with the mom monologue.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
Mhm.
This is like a weird thing for a mom to be telling her kids like this, and it's an interesting scene at least.
Yeah.
But then at the end, when they try to force this emotion and the music swells,
Right?
And
It's
and
like,
I'm
are you trying to be serious now?
Yeah, it's like now's the time to be serious. Like
You had jokes like the fucking wedding airplane pamphlet.
Yeah.
You had jokes like that, which they did bring up at the very end of the movie. So you have jokes like that, as well as like the kid saying like, "Oh, my dad's a fucking deadbeat. He fucking lied to me and shit like that. Fuck, fuck, fuck." Like, okay, yeah, we get it. It's funny, but like then they try to get emotional.
Yeah, it's like you had every chance in the world to get emotional before with the kid or
Yeah.
with any of these deaths, and you chose not to. So, like, why? I don't like that. It just confuses the tone. It
They could have even brought back Elijah Wood and his ex-wife to be
Mm.
like, "Oh, our kid has been
That's right.
terribly influenced because of that fucking monkey," and then the monkey kills them. That
Yeah.
would have been great to like bring back because it's like, yeah, these people are shitty people. Look how they die, and then everyone would cheer like, "Yeah." I don't know, like fucking bare minimum moments like that because a lot of the arcs are just kind of not completed. They're just
Yeah.
kind of like, "Oh, well, let's move on," or whatever. Like, what happens to the son afterwards? Does he just take the son back to the stepfather?
Yeah,
Like,
so that's never solved, right? And they have like their last lines are kind of like, "Oh, we'll keep it safe." What are we gonna do? Are we gonna
are you gonna
destroy?
do the same shit that you did as kids? Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand. Like, at least try to be funny with it. Like, you know how Adam Scott was burning the fucking monkey with the flamethrower, like DiCaprio in Once Upon
Yeah.
a Time. Like,
Exactly.
I love that. Why don't you try something even more? It's like, I heard my dad did this, so let's try this. And it's like, I don't know, an atomic bomb for all I care.
Right.
Just something to have closure. Have an explosive monkey at the end, and then freeze frame to the monkey's face, like hitting the camera. Like, I just
It was a bad ending.
right. It was very lazy. It was very like again, like I think people's opinions are gonna be different if they find this movie funny. Like if you laugh throughout this film, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. And I think I laughed a little bit more than you.
Right.
Overall, I'll say I had a decent time with it. I wasn't like I think maybe it's worth the price of admission if you're going in just for a fun, a fun chill movie,
Yeah.
but it fails at being anything more than that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Because the runtime too, like for something like this, like 100 minutes, 98 minutes, make it 80.
It was a little bit too long. The second half dragged a lot for me.
Yeah, I think the second half definitely was worse than the first half. The more I
Yeah.
think about it, because the first half at least had, sure, the child actors weren't amazing, but there was something unique about it. Like when he got bullied, you didn't expect the bullies to be like just a bunch of girls being like, "Oh, you don't have your kid
Yeah,
here,"
he
you know?
walks in that room and then they're all just standing around like ready to cook his ass. I'm
Yeah.
like, what's happening here?
Who has the pants in the house? Guess not you.
Yeah.
And then they take his pants off and then like throw bananas at him. Like I was like,
It's so absurd.
it's
but
absurd, but I was still on board.
sure.
Still on board for it. But yeah, as the film progresses, you kind of lose that type of that type of style, I guess you could say. You lose that type of style, and it's just kind of relying on who plays the older guy, Theo James. Like they're really trying to make him like really funny in this film, and I don't think he's given enough material to
No.
do that.
No, a
both
lot
the
of the
brothers.
jokes are like kind of relying on the way it's edited, like these jump cuts
Yeah,
and stuff like that, right? They don't give him enough funny dialogue to
No.
really do stuff in this movie. I don't really think it's Theo James' fault. I think his performance is fine.
yeah.
I think it's more of a direction thing and just not really having enough to work with. How about Oz Perkins as Uncle Chip?
Well, his dad was a better actor. Anthony Perkins was known for Norman Bates and Psycho, and Oz Perkins, he directs movies. I don't know. I think he was
Fun character though.
he was a fun cameo.
Tell me you didn't at least chuckle when he sits down with the kid and he's like, look, we're gonna try our best,
First line,
and
yes.
that's probably not enough.
Yeah, the first line, yes, but that's the issue. They still keep going. It's
Right.
like Oz keeps talking. He's like, "Listen, we're swingers, all right. I didn't want kids. I got one. So I don't find." It's like, why are you still talking? Like your first line was funny. Just
yeah,
end it, please.
fair enough.
That was just my opinion. I noticed that Oz Perkins during this marketing is giving off like Hitchcock vibes
Okay,
because there was a video I saw of him like marketing the monkey. Is like he's just talking to the audience, just like Hitchcock did back in the day.
right.
And I thought that was really nice because whenever I think of that, I think of the Psycho advertisement with Hitchcock being like, "Here's the house, Norman Bates and stuff. I was like, that's really neat because his father and stuff and that little connection. I love the marketing more than the movie. I'm gonna be honest with you, Nathan. I think the marketing's way more clever.
The marketing is really clean, and it got
Mhm.
us really excited about seeing this movie. I think
Yeah.
the strong marketing is a reason why we chose this movie over Captain America or some other bullshit that's out this week,
Yes.
right?
And it's gonna make its money back because the film cost 10, $11 million. It already made 7 million opening day.
See, there you go. Like when you can make a movie for $10 million, you give it a shot. And look, this I'm not gonna say this movie looked good on a cinematography level.
Yes.
Obviously, the VFX maybe left a little bit more to be desired at certain parts.
There was, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it had a couple rough moments, but it was quick enough that I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
On a positive note, what do you think the most memorable kill was in this film? Because there's some fun ones. Like
Most memorable.
I didn't hate everything
kill.
about this movie. I actually enjoyed the kills. I had fun with them.
Yeah, I think the most memorable kill might be the mom.
It kind of is, isn't
I
it?
kind of like the mom one because what was it? The aunt when she's old. It's trying
The
to be
burning
funny
head
too.
was yeah.
They dragged that joke again. It's like it would have been fine if her head was on fire and then she just falls down, but no, she just has to run and
All
then
the way
her
outside.
foot's in a bucket like a Three Stooges bit. I'm like the comedy isn't as good for this scene to exist in my
Mhm.
opinion. So the mom scene I would say is the best death.
Yeah,
in
I
this
kind
film.
of agree, and that's in the best stretch of the film. Like that is the best stretch of the film. When
It's the turning point.
yeah, exactly.
Turning point.
Best performance.
Best performance.
I don't think any of these are
Adam Scott.
future. Yeah.
Adam Scott was the best performer, and he was in the beginning of the fucking movie.
You're kind of right. Adam Scott was a memorable
Because Adam
cameo.
Scott is a comedic actor who also has done dramatic roles. Severance.
Right.
So get more people like that. If you're gonna do a movie like The Monkey, which is horror comedy, get actors who have done great comedy and great drama, and you're gonna do a lot better that way. Adam Scott's the only one to showcase that, in my opinion, in this movie.
And quickly, where do you stand with Oz Perkins after this film?
Oz Perkins, I love you, man. All right, you're still doing different shit compared to a lot of these directors, but I gotta find a good movie for you, man. I
Yeah.
gotta find one for me that I enjoy at least.
I still think overall though, like you want to see his next film still, right?
Yeah, like,
and that's saying
I want to give him
something.
a chance, man. This
Yeah.
is like 2 strikes, man. You know what? 2 strikes. Third one I'm gonna see of him. I hope it's a home run, dude. I fucking hope, man. Because if not, then
I think he has the chops for a home run, a horror film, and he's leading up to one. Let
Yeah.
us know what you guys thought about the monkey.
What's our rating?
Like, oh yeah. We need to rate this quickly.
your
I
rating?
got 3 out of 5 stars.
2 out of 5.
It's fun.
Yeah, mine's 2 out of 5. 4 out of 10.
Hey,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. Good drinking movie. Watch it with the buddies. Laugh
Yes.
a little. Something like that. That's kind of the vibes. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to your boys. Subscribe to us on that YouTube memberships, baby. Just a quick note, we shutting down the Patreon. We locking in on the YouTube memberships, making sure we got all the value for our members on there.
Mhm.
So check us out. Like, subscribe. We appreciate you. Take care. Brush your hair.
Peace.